Hello and welcome to Sunday Run Data Podcast. On this week's episode, I'm joined by the co-creators of Conquer to Cancer, Ben and Pia. Ben and Pia, thank you for taking the time out to join the show.
Cheers, Clint. Great to be here, and thanks for having us on.
Yeah, massive thanks.
It's great. It's so good to have you guys on. And obviously, for the people that are listening and watching, I guess they'd love to know a little bit more about what Conquer to Cancer is. So I'd love you just to explain the event itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll jump in. So we're from Conquer Cancer Australia, and we're going to be coordinating the world's longest relay. So starting from January 31st, we'll have someone, individuals or group, running or walking around Princess Park in the city in Melbourne for 29 days. The Guinness World Record is roughly 5,600 kilometres. We're looking to add a little bit more with 6,500 kilometres. To put that in perspective, it'd be us running from Perth to Melbourne, back up to Cairns. Super exciting. We've been coordinating this event for over a year now, and we've had a little bit more than 50 groups involved. So running groups, Pilates, yoga, politicians, VFL, gyms, all looking to make a difference. Today, we're about at 75% full. In terms of our running slots. Unlike a normal running event, anyone who does run or walk becomes a Guinness World Record holder. We're raising money for two incredible causes. One is brain cancer research. The other one is families going through cancer, kids with cancer. It's a true community event. If you want to be a runner, volunteer, verified lap, Guinness World Record, there's a lot of verification to it. We've also got a lot of people involved. So if you want to have a coffee or a beer, it all goes towards some great funds. And that's my pitch.
Oh, that's incredible. It's such a cool thing. No, it's such a cool. It's a great. I mean, look, you've explained it perfectly, like exactly how it is. I love the explanation, and it's such a cool event. And I love the fact that you guys are going out there, as you say, continuous 24/7 for 29 days. That's absolutely impressive. And then obviously trying to break the Guinness World Record, which I'm sure we will. And let's say what makes it such a cool event as well is that anyone that gets involved is got the opportunity to be part of breaking that Guinness World Record. That's such a cool thing. And I guess touching on the two charities then that you kind of coordinated with, obviously Camp Quality and the Florey Institute. So what was the reasons behind having them as your sort of main partners in this and to raise money for brain cancer?
I think that's yours, Ben. Again, you best place to answer that one.
Well, they're great charities, but I guess when we go back to it, look, everyone's been touched by cancer. For me, it's personal, my story, and everyone has a story. My dad, 1 year, was just getting hay fever symptoms. Touched his nose, it was a little bit sore. Went to go to see a nose and throat specialist. A few days later, the doctor said, "You got to come in. Please bring your wife." My dad and mum were both nurses. My dad's a psych nurse, and my dad's like, "This is not a good thing." Come in with 5 kids at the time, and he found out that he had brain cancer. And the stats on brain cancer, it's pretty bleak, but since he had 5 kids, he did experimental surgery. Let's do the stats. Most brain cancer is found too late, and you usually have 6 to 8 months to live. If you do get caught, you'll usually have surgery, radiation, chemotherapy. And then if you last for 5 years, you're going against all the statistics. My dad, he ended up lasting for 6 years, which is pretty incredible. I didn't start this charity because of my dad. Actually, from It's the Whole Circle of Life. More than a year ago, I found out I was going to be a father for the first time. I was excited originally to be a girl because my wife's stunning. I'm like, half Latino, half Australian. They'll look stunning. But then I found out Liam was going to be a boy. Then I thought legacy. And so what can I do for the community and give back? And we had this idea for this charity for a while, and Pete can go into that. But it was when I found I was going to be a father and really wanted to give back to the community that I was like, Pete, now is the time. And definitely when I'm running at my lap, I'm going to be picturing Last the Mohican music and pushing my son and having my dad by my side.
While we picked Camp Quality and the Flurry, it's it's sort of sometimes so serendipitous how these things come about. Like Ben said, 12 or 13 months ago, gave me a call and sort of talked about it. We could get into how it came up with the ideas and stuff later, but talking about it. And then I was chatting to another friend, and she just happened to be sitting next to the CEO of Camp Quality on the plane. And I hadn't chatted to her for a couple of months. And she goes, "Oh, guess who I was chatting to?" I said, "Oh, guess who I was just chatting to about this?" And you go, what are the odds that these conversations are both happening at the exact same time and stuff? So it's sort of a bit of divine intervention. It felt like that there's a bit of purpose. Camp Quality, an incredible organisation that helps out families and kids going through cancer and so forth. They'd like nothing more than to make themselves redundant and not have to support families with cancer. And that's where the Flurry Institute comes in as well. Flurry is a building full of some exceptional people doing brain research. They do research on epilepsy and dementia and brain cancer and other sort of cancers and stuff in that space. But realistically, they're situated in a perfect spot near all of the big hospitals, and in world-leading capacity. They're taking the charge against brain cancer, with the ability to get brain tissue hours after, or minutes after it's been in someone and do research on it. They work really close with Peter Mac. They work really close with the women's and the general hospital and the children's hospital. So, it's sort of, there's no one better placed to do some great work in that space. So those two charities.
No, thank you for sharing as well. Like, I really appreciate Ben there for sharing your story as well. And I love the fact what you said is you wanted to give back to the community as well, and talking about legacy. And I love that. And I think this event is definitely part of that. It feels, for me personally, like hearing about it and then getting involved myself, I'm looking forward to that. I do feel that it's really about the community, having run clubs there as well, getting that community feel. I think that's really amazing. And what you're bringing together is really trying to bring that community. But I guess I'd really like to ask the question as well, is like, what was the idea of the 29 days consecutive, and who kind of first pitched that? Was like, you know what, this is what I think we should do.
Yeah.
That's you,
So, Clint, it was, I guess it's a long time in the making. 8 years ago or 9 years ago, I was organising with a group of friends a Guinness World Record where we went the longest dragon boat journey. We went from Yarrawonga to Swan Hill, so about 575 kilometres. As part of that, and broke the Guinness World Record, raised $300,000 for the Royal Children's Hospital, and made lasting change there with structural changes for positions and all sorts of things that they had to do in that space, because we proved that the funding was worthwhile. So the government has since stepped in to cover some of the things. So really great to be able to initiate some lasting change in that space. And then after that, you're on a high after breaking a record, and a really great thing with the team. There's 20, 30 people on the sidelines and 20 people in the boat. Just want to go, how do we make it bigger? How do we make it bigger and better and keep on working in that sort of space? Talked about some of the things like, let's sail to Herden McDonald Island, which is just the highest volcano on Australian territories, but it's basically in Antarctica. It's a 6-week journey to get there, and thought some really cool things to just really push ourselves. But that's just Ben and I, or Ben and a few of us pushing ourselves. It's not quite that same community feel. It's not that same bringing a heap of people together. And we'll say, that's what it's really about. It's not about any individual feat of brilliance. It's about everyone coming together. And if we all push the barrow in the same direction, we can do exceptional things. And then come up with the idea of similar. But let's just break the Guinness World Record for longest relay. Originally, we sort of thought 10,000. That's a nice, sexy number to get 10,000. And then we sort of realized that's 6 weeks consecutive, and it's kind of double the current record. Well, maybe we'll work up to that. We'll just break the Guinness World Record by 1,000 Ks, and look, we're still looking at things to do it. So maybe next year we'll go for 7.5, and then 10 the year after or something, because it's not going to be just a one and done. We want to keep pushing the envelope in similar things. But That's sort of how it came along. Just sort of thought of that idea, and then, like Ben said before, about 12 months ago, he sort of said, "Yeah, that idea you had, let's make it a reality. Let's sort of push forward with it." And then, yeah, we've been a small, tight knit group of us. About 4 of us have been really leading the charge on this for the last 12 months.
No, that's awesome. And I think, yeah, like what you said there is what I touched on, as you say, the community. I love that you kind of really wanted to get a community involved, and you certainly are. And that's amazing. And what you guys are doing it for. And like as well, touching on what Ben said as well around his story about, everyone has a story. And I feel like with running as well, we all have a story when it comes to running, the reasons why we want to run and the reasons why we continue to run. So I think it's great that you've really brought that into this world record attempt and have the running. So I guess moving on to the event itself, if people here are listening or watching, like you said earlier, around about 75% is slots are booked. But how could people get involved? Obviously with the running, but also, as the volunteers as well to be down there.
So as a runner, yeah, well, like I said, we're about 75% confirmed and booked out. We've got about 20% where we're in conversations with running groups, gyms, sports clubs to lock in some other stuff, but there is still capacity there to sort of book in and be a runner. All of the good, nice times that are already booked out. So there's no weekends at 7 a.m. It's like, there's got to be some tough mothers coming out there to get into the 3 a.m. on a Tuesday and stuff, but there's still some slots there. So absolutely there's that. So the best thing to do is to search www.conquercanceraustralia.com. You'll go through the prompts, sign up as a runner, and then you can book the slots out through there. We can follow the prompts. Everyone can follow the bouncing ball on that there. And that's how we go for the runners. But we do need volunteers and verifiers as well. So Ben's been doing a lot of work on that lately as well. So
No, that's awesome. And yeah, I say jump online, check them out. Conquer the Cancer. I'll put a link on my website as well. So please, make sure if you want to get involved. Also, yeah, reach out to the guys as well if you've got the opportunity to be there and involved, in whatever capacity. I think it's such a great community event that you're doing. And as you say, top all off, Guinness World Records. This would be your guys' second Guinness World Record. Is that correct?
yeah, absolutely. When we break it, it'll be the second one, but it takes a lot of people. And just I'll maybe hand over to Ben. He can cover it because he's been doing work and reaching out to people. But, it's not just the runners. There's an entire army of people behind that needed as well. So, volunteers and stuff, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we're not going to be able to break a Guinness World Record if it's not for the volunteers. So, to break a Guinness World Record, there's a lot of verification that's needed. So we need, for example, volunteers, someone to scan the person in to make sure they're real, with a baton handover. But we also just need, if you live near Princess Park, just to come down to verify. It's only 15 seconds of work, but obviously we're doing over 29 days on each hour. So we're only strong as our weakest link. So yeah, if you're anywhere close, we definitely need you to join. And I think everyone can get behind that. We all hate cancer and we want to do a difference.
Yeah, 100%. And it's safe to be able to get everyone involved and get behind it. We all would love to see the world free of cancer, and anything we can do to help, whether that is, as you say, being part of the volunteer, be able to fundraise, even be able to contribute a little bit yourself. As you say, every bit can help, and that's awesome. And it's say, really brings in that community as well. It's all about that. On the day itself, when you go down there, it's part of a bigger thing as well. It's part of the community, having like-minded people, runners, volunteers, all together enjoying it. And I guess, obviously, on those 29 days, it's going to be a great atmosphere. What are you kind of really looking forward to the most around the whole event?
You can go first, Pete.
I think... Yeah, look, geez, it's hard to sort of say. I'll probably sort of say like the sleep after it. I'm looking forward to that because I know there's going to be a lot of physical running. There's going to be, a lot of organising and stuff. I'm really looking forward to punching out my 10Ks in my hour. I'm not going to be any record beater, but it's nice to get out there and run. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the big groups that we've got coming in that have got 12 and 24 and 60 hours. Some really big communities coming in to try and do their first run as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, like where we've got 150 people running all at once, and they're all, they've got the baton and we're working around with that sort of stuff. Like, just sort of see that big community come together. I'm looking forward to times where we've got a group of 60 women that have booked in a row, and then we've got another group of 24 women coming in after that, and they've basically booked out 4 days straight between them. And the handover point between them is going to be a great, sort of driver to improve, relationships between that group and, new networks and stuff like that. I think there's going to be a heap of people getting to know each other.
I love that you were saying that, as you say, you're getting involved in, the community, and that handover as well between all those women there. That's amazing. Booking out like 4 days, such a great community behind. Oh, and that's really cool. And I guess one of my questions that I wanted to find out as well, that I know a few people might have those questions, like if they were signing up as an individual, as a team, when it comes to running, obviously everyone can get involved, but just running around the course itself, would it be more as an individual, or would it be as a team, or is it, kind of mixed?
A bit of mixed. So we've got both there. The person who's holding the baton is the only person that will get their name in the record books for Guinness. But what we really want to sort of see is, like I said, groups coming together. And if you booked 3 hours, that someone runs it for an hour and then you sort of run with them. We're expecting most of the time it'll be 2 or 3 people running together. While one of them's holding the baton, another couple of them will be jogging with them, and then they'll go and have their rest, and then there'll be someone else will hand the baton over and stuff. So a lot of the groups have organised that. So it's not just, the last thing we want is, someone to show up, grab the baton from a stranger, run for an hour, hand the baton over to another stranger, and then go, that was a bit of a letdown. We want to sort of get people to stick around a bit before, get to meet the people that are running there. If they're just individuals, there'll be community around it. Get to know the people that are running with them and stuff like that. So, like I said, most of the time, as far as the actual record goes, it's just the person holding the baton. But for the spirit of the event, we want to have people running together. Princess Park's a good place where we're located on Lawn 3, just next to Icon Stadium. We'll be walking backwards and forwards from Lawn 3, and people run around, so they'll get 2 or 3 cheers on each lap as well, as a minimum. So they're going to be well supported. Hopefully they feel that each time they get around there. Plus, the more visibility that we get, and there's lots of people that are always at Princess Park. So once we're all decked out in our gear and our vests and stuff, with the signage around the entirety of Princess Park, there'll be a lot of people cheering people on as well for that cause.
Having people involved there is not just going to be the individuals. Yes, Pete there touched on about how we'd have someone, whoever is holding the band for their 1 hour, they will be the one that'll get into the Guinness Book of World Records, but also about the community as well, having people running along there, having the cheer squad as well, coming around multiple times, having people cheer them on. I think that's such a cool event. It's more about community. Yes, there is going to be, the individual that may sign up, or if it's part of the run group, they'll obviously organize how they will, have different runners at different times, but it's good to have that community around, multiple people running with people, so it's not just individualized. And if you are an individual runner turning up, there's going to be a lot of support there for you as well, and you probably won't be running by yourselves.
Absolutely.
It's really exciting that each group is doing it a different way. Like, I've got this great Filipino community, and they've got 6 slots, but they're going to do a barbecue. They're going to have karaoke, really make an event of it. On Valentine's Day, me and my extended family have booked out like 12 slots in itself. So once again, big barbecue, big family reunion. So, and everyone's doing it a different way. So super exciting. I don't know if you touched on it, Pete, but we're kind of making it like
we didn't touch on that specifically.
But like a fringe festival sort of thing, because a lot of people said, we want to give back. Can we give a free Pilates class? Can we give a free yoga class? So it's going to be really exciting. So if you've got nothing on in February, come by, have a look. There'll be something to do.
That's great. As you say, it's going to be a really big event. Yes, the run is about what it is about, and there's people there joining the event, joining the runs, but there's going to be a big community around. As you say, you've got different run groups there. As you say yourself, you've booked out a really big slot with your extended family. It's going to be such an atmosphere. It's going to be great there. Everyone having fun, everyone enjoying it. obviously the weather in January, February in Melbourne is normally pretty good. We can never predict what's going to happen in Melbourne, as we all know. One day it'll be sunshine and the next hour it'll be raining, but it'll be part of that. It'll be part of everything of being in Melbourne. It's a great location as well. And I think,
Yep.
I'm really excited to obviously be involved myself, but obviously see other people down there and just to meet more people. And okay, touching on, like you say, it's for 24/7. And like you touched on earlier in the podcast, you have those difficult time slots, those 3 a.m., those 4 a.m.s. How has that been like with you guys as well, out there running those time slots as well? I see Pete on Instagram, you've been out there running the time slots. How's that been? You waking up at very early hours of the morning and go for your run?
Look, I think part of it is just, you've got to experience it all and see what it's all about and stuff. I mean, I'm pretty good at waking up. I'm an early bird at the best of times. So, getting up and just sort of pushing yourself a little bit is part of the enjoyment of it. I think that's a lot of the people that have gone there. We've got the Victorian ultra runners that have booked the opposite side of Valentine's Day to Ben. He's got the day shift and they've got the night shift. They're just to say, no, we'll probably all run all 12 hours, instead of doing anything there, and they just go, we've got other people that said, no, like, we wouldn't be caught dead running during the day in summer. We want to sort of pick a nighttime slot like yourself, Clint. You were last time we were chatting. And then, there's other people that go, no, absolutely. We want to book a tough slot and make sure that that's part of it. I think that's part of the challenge for some people as well. They really want to get in and sort of go, oh, this is part of it. I'm going to break a Guinness World Record. I'm going to sort of put the effort in to be a part of it. So, getting up at the ungodly hours, baker's hours to go and go for a run is not the hardest thing in the world. There's people got a lot of more difficult things happening. So, and I mean, look, I love going for a run early in the morning. It's probably better than late in the afternoon.
Oh, definitely. And as you say, I think, in the summer in Melbourne, running at, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon is probably not something I look forward to. I kind of like the fact maybe a midnight run and it's still probably going to be 28 degrees. It'll still be quite nice. So, yeah,
Exactly.
I think it's, I really do appreciate you guys obviously sharing, the insight into the event, but also sharing obviously the story of how it come about. I love that. I can't wait to obviously be involved in it. I can't wait for you guys to obviously break the Guinness World Record with the help of everyone else. And just before we obviously wrap up the podcast, is there anything else you'd like to share around the Conquer the Cancer?
Okay, so a big thing with all of this is to build a community with many other communities. And I have to say, like, I've gone out to do like video collabs with all these running group leaders. They're all the most optimistic, up for anything, sense of community minded people ever. So we're thinking, as well as another volunteering aspect to it. Not volunteering, fundraising, we're going to have a massive gala event. So everyone that was involved, whether it's the runners, the volunteers, have one chance to really get together. And so to unite Melbourne. So that's really exciting. So if you're looking to extend your network, this is a huge opportunity to do so.
Oh, that's awesome. And what an amazing thing to do. A gala event at the end. That's going to be amazing. I can't wait to hear more about that and be involved for sure.
Yeah, it'll be once we have everything sorted in a couple of months for Guinness to watch all of the videos that we have to send them to verify it. We should be able to get the certificates out and formally announce that we're as a team record holders, and we'll be able to get everyone in together amongst it, and have an enjoyable evening, a bit of fundraising, a bit of fun, and go from there. So yeah, think about the next plan of what we're going to do bigger and better for the year after.
That's it, isn't it? It's like I'm thinking about the next one. We'll get one ticked off and then moving on to the next one. But I'd say just the one before I wrap up, the one comment I really love there as well, what Ben said as well, is about United Melbourne as well, really uniting the community. And I think over these 29 days, you are going to be doing that. You're going to really be bringing the running community together, meeting so many different people from so many walks of life. As you say, people out there running, walking, being a part of that. It's going to be such a great event. And I say, I, for one, I'm really excited to hear about everything. There's a lot of work going into it. You guys are doing a lot of work just to organize the event, but also during the event, like you say, to get all the videos verified over to Guinness, to make sure it's verification and everything. It's going to be great. And I really do appreciate you, taking the time out to share that with me, but also the efforts that you guys have been doing behind the scenes of getting this up and running. And yeah, what an amazing event. As I say, 29 days of non-stop running. Absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely looking forward to it, Clint. And thank you very much for having us on. Really appreciate you giving us a platform to share what we're doing and how we can help. And again, hopefully the Sunday Run Day community becomes part of this bigger community. And like with all the other running groups, that's the whole part. We just bring this, one massive community together. It's pretty easy to find a common cause in this sort of space, and it's great to get a huge group together. So no, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to chat today. It's been great, and look forward to seeing you on the running track when we're down there.
I can't do anything better than say it better than Pete, but yeah, come join us. Another sporting accolade from Melbourne as we break it. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Get involved.
Yep. No, definitely. And so for anyone listening or watching, head over to the website, get involved if you can. Even if, as they said, even if you're not running, even if you're not part of a volunteer group, just even if you jump down, there's a lot going on over those 29 days. It's going to be enjoyable. And so thank you so much for taking the time out. And until next time, happy running.